Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever time you're watching this from. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, thank you for choosing to tune in. We have a lot to talk about. So first of all, quick recaps. As you know, yesterday the Duke of Sussex was trending, making news all over the world as he was seen driven through the gates of the four-story mansion not far from Buckingham Palace, and was seen leaving less than an hour later as he was in the back of the car en route to an evening event for his Invictus Games. So let's cover that first and foremost. Quick updates on his Invictus Games engagement. The Duke of Sussex walked in. We got a closer look at what he was wearing, looking very, very dapper in a dark colored suit that was so sharp with a crisp white dress shirt and a silk patterned tie. The Duke of Sussex was in positive spirits. It's all over him. As we know, the Invictus Games supports injured and sick service members and veterans. The foundation hosted Invictus Horizons at the iconic Gherkin in London, where Harry met with supporters, partners, and community members as the Invictus movement enters its second decade. So Harry said in a statement, quote, "This is what Invictus does best. It catalyzes change. It shows what is possible when courage is met with opportunity, and when recovery is supported by respect and community. That is why tonight is so important, because as proud as I am of our first decade, I know the next decade matters even more," end quote. The event also introduced Rob Owens as new Chief Executive Officer. So Harry was also delayed in getting to the event by heavy traffic due to the ongoing tube strike, which he worked into his speech in a joke, saying, quote, "I think this whole thing has been delayed slightly, so at this point you're all hammered," which was part of the plan all along, stuck up here in the top of the gherkin, he said. And the Duke of Sussex was able to balance the speech with a more weighty tone, talking about how the Invictus community stands as a symbol of unity, saying that they prove that unity is not just possible but formidable. Going on to add, "Our ambition for the future is clear. We will focus where the need is great. We will strengthen the international community we have already built, ensuring that wounded, injured, and sick service personnel everywhere can find recovery through sport, rehabilitation, and community." Harry also expounded about his time in Vancouver, meeting families from all over the world. And he said, quote, "Being a hero, being a role model is not just about resilience, skill, or power. It's about integrity, compassion, courage. You give us hope through your healing, honesty, and humanity. And of course, through your humor. You know exactly what I'm talking about." It's an in-house joke, which made the crowd laugh. And there was a great sense of camaraderie at this meet, and we saw pictures of Harry walking in to a warm welcome. We also see him here with Dominic Reed at the reception, and it just looks to be such a good time for all round, a lot of topics being discussed, even as they continue to lay the groundwork for the next Invictus Games that will be held in Birmingham. So it's going to be an important one for the Duke of Sussex. I will circle back to that. We also know that Harry went on to wrap up the packaged trip to the UK by attending the Diana Award panel. Here is an image of Harry walking in. Look at that. Harry obviously loves being back with old friends, catching up with them, and being able to meet up with everyone who definitely wanted to see him this time around. And there's been just so much that's been accomplished on this trip. The Duke of Sussex has impressive work ethic. And so after this last engagement, Harry now is headed back home to the US to be with his wife Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and their children Prince Archie and Princess Lili. I'm sure they've missed him, but have been watching from afar and seeing the amazing time that he's had in the UK. And Meghan as well, in her Instagram stories, she did share one of those clips with Harry jousting with the little girl at the Well Child Award. So they have been following all of Prince Harry's movements in the UK, which brings me back quickly into this point. And this is a perfect way to segue back into this. To circle back to the story of yesterday, the main story that I want to talk about, which was the huge news about Harry and his dad reconciling, reuniting, whatever word is being used in all of the headlines that were all across the globe, and your feedback in the comment section. My gosh, it ran the gamut. From those of you who were positively thrilled to those of you who voiced your very strong objections. So let's get into that. I want to cover this first of all from BBC. It was so interesting seeing how they were trying to cover their own bases. Listen to this quote and tell me what you think. They say in their article, Prince Harry has met his father, King Charles, at Clarence House in London on Wednesday for their first face-to-face meeting. The clues have been scattered all over the place in recent months. In his BBC interview in May, there was a significant shift in tone from the prince. After years of raw emotional media appearances, Prince Harry sitting in front of the camera saying, quote, "I would love a reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. Life is precious," he said. Harry made his position clear. He wanted to see his father, but was Charles feeling the same way? The article asks. BBC going on to highlight the picture in the Mail on Sunday in July showing the media communications teams representing Prince Harry meeting in London with the King's communications director. The two camps coming together and the image finding its way onto the front page of a national newspaper. So they said that there had been unified silence from both sides and there was denials of leaking the picture. But of course, what was the main story at the time was that a channel of communication between both camps had opened. And I'm going to add right along with it a seemingly leaky faucet opening up to the press as well. So the article here goes on to say, neither side would be drawn on a date or time of any reunion. BBC saying that we were making educated guesses on when father and son might meet based on gaps in their diaries and who was planning to be where geographically. It seems like they're trying to distance themselves from any semblance of briefing or leaks. Anyway, so they go on to say that the mutual silence is held. But isn't it interesting that as I read the same take in another article, this is exactly the quote about Harry and Charles meeting. They said, quote, "But a palace official speaking on condition of anonymity said the father and son had shared a private tea at Clarence House." And the BBC reported the session lasted 55 minutes. So come on now, someone from that, the institution is talking, right? And now, as the quiet tea is really on the front pages, now there is a news story saying that the emotional summit, in quotes, may pave the way for Archie and Lili Betts' long-awaited reunion with their grandfather. And it could also be the beginning of healing within the royal family. So think about that. Already, there is a royal source, in quotes, talking and saying that not only is this the first step rebuilding the relationship between father and son, they're now insinuating that perhaps in the books there is a time when Archie and Lili will go to see their grandfather. Think about that. So the leaks have already started and we're going to have a poll running. What do you think about the Sussex children going to see King Charles? I want to know your thoughts in the poll. So let's get into that. So anyway, this leads me to the point where many of you were saying that there is a PR angle to this. And of course, I did cover that in my previous video when it was all rumor and speculation about whether Harry and his dad would be meeting. I covered that. Over here, we're not just looking at things through the rose-colored glasses. We know about the men in gray. We know about the jealousies that run in the palaces, the briefing, the leaks. And I do also echo your sentiments that if Harry is to find a way to have that rapprochement that they keep talking about in the press, he has to be very wise in dealing with the palace. Even as we know that on a PR front, them meeting up has been fantastic for Charles in the press. Not only does he get to be aligned with the more popular son globally, Prince Harry, he has more engagement. People are more interested in what he and Meghan are doing, but also he gets to have that he is a loving father, grandfather. etc., etc. So immediate points for King Charles in the press. And if there is any love for Harry, any love for his grandchildren, he only knows what he truly wants. Who can speak to that? But at the end of the day, when we look at this from Prince Harry's perspective, first of all, he did say that there is no point in continuing to fight anymore. He told BBC, he said he would love reconciliation with his family. He says he wants a family, not an institution. He's also talked about the security being pulled, and he has been open about the fact that it was withdrawn to control him and Meghan through putting their safety at risk, trying to, kind of herd them back into the fold. And Harry talked about how he would forgive, right? So Harry has a lot to forgive. Someone who was born a prince, just having all of the security withdrawn on a whim. You cannot deny that that was something that really put him and Meghan in a very difficult position, where he had to have people coming in to take care of them, to give them security, trying to set them up. Come on, there's a lot there. And at the time, there were parents to young kids, or to Archie at the time. They needed a lot of support. And I think Harry really did feel very isolated. So Harry and Charles meeting up, they both have their perspectives on this. And many of you have said, no matter what Harry will decide, you will back him. But they have to do their very best to protect Meghan and the children in whatever deals they come to. There has been a rumor in the press. I want to talk about this rumor that's been circulating, or something that people have been talking about, a half in, half out. I know so many of you were very opposed as per this poll that was running in the last video, where many of you do not want that at all for Harry. He has his life in the US. But of course, the royal family have been understaffed, right? So I'm wondering what a 55-minute negotiation between Harry and his dad looked like. When Harry emerged from the meeting, he did not seem sad. In fact, it's been pointed out that when he went to the next meeting, the Invictus Games event, he dashed over there. I talked about the traffic jam that was there. And when a reporter asked him about his father's health, the prince offered his first-hand opinion. Yes, he's great, thank you, in quotes. And Harry did seem upbeat. So either he has truly honed in a way to have that game face on. Who knows what they spoke about? Was it beneficial to him, Meghan, and the children? Harry has wanted the police protection restored. So who knows? Everyone has their perspective. There are the palaces as well. Palace politics, trying to make so-and-so look good, trying to cast different palaces in different lights. But one thing for sure is that we cannot see Meghan being scapegoated again, and we will not have that for Archie and Lili as well. So everything, we're gonna be praying for Harry to make the best decision, him and Meghan to make the best decision. I don't want any of you to think for even 1 minute that Meghan is getting that as breaking news. The sit down with Charles is not breaking news to Meghan. Nothing is taking place behind her back. Her and Harry are a team. They are one. And everything that's discussed there, he and Meghan have sat down and talked it through. So I'm sure that Harry, in all of those discussions, had Meghan and his children in mind. And, she is a sounding board for Harry and vice versa. So they are a team. And of course, we're going to be watching to see what is the fruit of that meeting that they had. But of course, this meeting has showed a change of tone, right? Harry and Charles meeting and their teams meeting beforehand, that's truly a huge thing. So I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Once again, we'll have another poll running. We will have a couple of questions going on. Did you approve of Harry and his dad reuniting? And in the comments, I want you all to share your perspectives on how Harry could negotiate for him and his family if in fact there is now a bridge between he and his dad, even as this could be a new alliance being formed. How can Harry get the most out of this? So this is happening, people. It is happening. The next Invictus Games is in the UK. It was reported a while ago that Harry would be inviting Charles and William, and it would be a bad look for such a huge event to be going on, and the main guy, the top job guy, does not even show up. At least for Charles, it would be the worst PR ever. It would be horrible PR for Charles or William not to show up. So even if this is just a big game of chess, none of them would want to not show up for the military community in their own country. Come on, you're supposed to be the commander of your own armed forces. So either way, there are a lot of moving pieces. This is chess, not checkers, and it's happening, people. Everyone has to sit down and figure out how they're going to thaw these relationships. Charles has gotten his team in quick, and whatever the motive may be, I just want Harry to get the best for him, Meghan, and his children. So, and let me say something. You've got to tip your hat to, let me call them the old guard, those who are Charles's camp. They are able to look forward and project how things might not look good for Charles and do everything in their power to protect their principal. So even if this is just a huge game of chess and public relations, I want Harry to also play chess, and you know he can play chess with the best of them. So share thoughts. We know that the Invictus Games is coming up. Everyone wants to support the vets, the military community, and Harry is hopeful that he, his family, and even William will set aside their differences, talk it out, and have a reconciliation that is real, that is based on them talking facts and perhaps forgiving each other and hoping that they move forward as a family that is not dysfunctional, right? So share thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. And now, before we log off, allow me here to thank those of you who support this channel financially and shout out a couple of you here by name. And now, a very special welcome to a new channel member. Welcome to you. You go by the handle Kadel50. Welcome as a channel member. Thank you for choosing to show your support tangibly through your giving. And thank you for choosing to accompany me here on this YouTube journey through membership. Thank you for the encouragement and the boost, and I am so touched by your kindness. Thank you for choosing to be a blessing, not only to me, but to this community through your generosity. Thank you. We welcome you here as a part of this community with a warm internet hug. Thank you. God bless you and yours. A very special thank you now to you, Lottie. So blessed to have you as a part of this community. You have truly been a light, and your altruism has been inspiring. Thank you for the constant support and encouragement that you have been, and for the positive energy that you bring to this community. I want to say that I truly do appreciate you. I love you. God bless you, and thank you. A very special thank you to you, Yvonne Sibisi. You are truly a kind soul. So grateful for your unwavering support, and thank you for being you. You are seen, valued, and appreciated. Words are not enough to express just how much I am touched by the love, and I feel so blessed to have you be a part of this channel. God bless you, and thank you. Once again, thank you to all who support this channel financially, to those who like, comment, and share. I appreciate you all. If you liked this update, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, follow on social media. Links will be in the cards and in the pinned comment. I love you all. Have a great day and keep it here for more. And I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.